Good morning. All right, snow lovers, type 1 if you're happy. Type 2 if you want more snow. Jessica says no more. Well, you know where I'm going to go with that. We'll cover it in just a second here. Hello, everyone. I'm wave meteorologist Brian Good. Welcome to Snow Talk on this December 2nd. What a night and morning it was. Very pretty snow. Did cause some travel issues, don't get me wrong, but a lot easier to handle a wet snow like this near 32 than one the drier snows with temperatures that ease back down into the 20s out there. Oh, they moved the, hold on one second. I just realized they moved the camera on me. Hold on. Okay, thank you. Sorry about that. I noticed the feed I'm about to show you all changed, so I was trying to get it back on track, but we'll get back to it here in a second. All right, so good morning, everyone. See all your totals. You can chime away, type all your different totals you had in your area. We'll go through some of them here coming up. Yes, someone did win the snow contest. They do not know yet officially they've won, so I'm not going to say anything until we have a chance to communicate with them, and then we'll bring them on, and you'll have a chance to talk with them all together. So yes, that means the snow forecast, the snow gasting away has officially ended. Oh boy, for those that picked late in the month and into January, you're like, no, but it happened pretty fast, right? So, are we going to get more snow? Let's get right into that. And yes, I do think we're going to get more, and we don't have to wait long. Now, I will say, I do not see as of right now anything that is a repeat of what we had last night and this morning. Hopefully, if you're not a fan of this, that puts your mind at ease a bit. We're looking at a dusting potentially as we head into, thanks to Juan, I appreciate it. As we head into Thursday morning, a dusting is going to be possible. Otherwise, and it's only for part of the area. I'll show you that. Next to the board, only 24 hours later, there is a chance to get more snow showers in the area. Both of these will be rush hour events for the mornings. That's the reason why they are probably going to get a little more attention than usual there. The Clipper is still there on Sunday, and it's actually a 2-for-1 deal. You get 2 Clippers. One moving in Sunday, Monday, another one likely Monday or Tuesday of next week. I'll say rain to snow in the last one. I think majorities will likely be snow. The models may hint at rain, but the atmosphere and profile in the modeling is not always right. It's sometimes going to be a little too warm, so we have to kind of correct that a bit. So these all look to be light, but it can still cause some issues. So I'll walk you through all these coming up as we evolve. First off, interesting stats here today. Our 24-hour snowfall in Louisville, 4.8 inches of snow, 4.7 technically for December 2nd, but we had a 1/10 of an inch right before midnight. So 4.8. That is actually a record for this date. Previous record was 2.7 inches of snow in the year 2000, December 2000, another cold and snowy month that we had. And there have been a lot of similarities that were compared to December 2000 to what this December may end up being. So it's interesting that that is one of the records that was broken today. Normally, we should have a 1/10 of an inch of snow in the bucket for us, but we're way ahead of that. I mean, we're about 11 and a half to 12 for an entire season. We're nearly halfway there. It's still technically autumn. Winter doesn't begin for another 2.5 weeks. So, but you never know. Don't get too excited. We've seen how this can play out. You get excited about it, like, oh, this is going to be a fun season. And then suddenly it flips to 80 degrees and like on Christmas, and it stays warm all the way through March. All right. So, and winter ended fast. I don't think that's going to happen this year, to be clear, but I don't want to jinx it. I don't want some bad juju. All right. So let's keep it on the positive side. Now, this is just an estimate. We're still getting a lot of our snowfall reports that are coming in to the area. So this map gives a general idea where the most of it fell, but we'll have a more detailed map that will come out later today with totals on it. But there was the phasing was the first sign of issues that developed in the trends. It was roughly the mid-morning to midday data yesterday. It started to show a faster phasing that would happen, therefore a colder profile. Therefore, more moisture would be available to be all snow. So it was then just a matter of where that would happen. And there was a pretty good consensus of the idea it was going to be generally in southern Indiana, north central Kentucky, and the bluegrass area of Kentucky. The area that I think that underperformed on that idea, that held on to a little bit more of the freeze and rain and sleet idea, was our southern counties. Held on long enough that you really didn't get a chance to flip over. So your snowfall amounts were a lot lower, if barely anything in some cases, once you get down to the south there. But no doubt in Louisville, actually our 4.8 inch total we have, one of the higher ones in the area. Most of we were under that. I have 3.5 at my house. I'm not far from the airport, so it's pretty wild. It was that much of a difference in that short a distance in Jefferson County. But some of you had over 4, but the average was, I would say, 3 to 4, some cases 4.5. But 3 to 4 was a very common theme that we saw repeated in the metro area and up 71 in northern Kentucky. And it may vary on some areas of how you measured the snow. Some measured it in the grass, not on a flat surface. So some of the totals can be a little skewed. So got to be careful on how you do the measuring. We are, of course, watching our snowboard. This is what it looks like outside right now in the weather garden. It's showing, looks like 5, but it's compacted. So it's more like 4 inches right now on the snowboard as they're still adjusting the camera. But still, to get that amount in downtown Louisville is really impressive. And that's the thing in Louisville at the airport, 4.7 fell since midnight, but we only have right around a 4 on the ground. So this wet snow weighted so much already, it's already compacting down. So if you're wondering, okay, well, it's probably even lower in your area, your yard, compared to what you had this morning because it is a wet snow. We are still hovering close to 32 mini spots. So as each hour goes by, even though the sun's not out and we're not above 32, it's still going to compact down. So hopefully you got your measurements in earlier on. Otherwise, you're already going to get a measurement that's going to be a little bit lower than the true reality was of the event. So nearly an inch difference at the runway there at the airport from the time it fell and being measured is remarkable. So it is going to be a compacting snow. But the plus side to that, this is a great snow for a snowman and sledding. Who's going to Cherokee Park today? Go sledding. Somebody is. If you've got snowmen already or you got plans to make them today and build them, by all means, do so. You can share your photos. We have a link on our Facebook page and the weather page. You can post your pictures there, or better yet, use the Wave Weather app, and you may make it on the good photo of the day on our 3 o'clock shows. But have fun with it, too. Be creative. I love the creative ones that are out there. But this is a good, decent snow. I like it. It, again, it was messy when it was falling. That's when, again, it was dangerous. But once the roads were treated, most area roads were good. My neighborhood was a slushy. The worst of the roads were actually out the station here in downtown Louisville. Still slick in the side streets in the city. So the outlying areas weren't as bad. But still, use that caution because we're, again, hovering around freezing. And tonight we are going to drop in the lower 20s. So we're not going to continue the alert day into tonight just because we're going to be dealing with this refreezing idea for a while. And that means we'd have an alert day like every single day. So we're not trying to exhaust you guys. But I think it's going to be just a common sense issue here that for a while, until we get rid of the snow, there will be an issue of refreezing and icy patches every single night, every single morning. So still take it slow. Even walking out on your porch, your sidewalk, use some caution there, okay? Let's see. A little over 2 inches there, Angela, in Radcliffe. Very good, very good. Michelle had to get the car cleaned off to get to the doctor appointment. That was easy, too, to get it cleared off. Hopefully everything's all right, by the way. But I know you didn't have time to measure. That's fine. Josh had 5. Is it 5.5? 5.5 there in Crestwood. Very nice. Very nice. Snow map was dead on there for Kentucky. Northern Kentucky. Good to hear. Good to hear. This is what I think that's where our snow map. Let me show what it looked like. Yeah, this is where our snow map was. We, again, struggled with where the 4 to 6 was going to be placed at and how to handle the end portion of that. So once we got the evening data that came in, Ryan was able to adjust that to account for it. And so everything worked out well. I mean, this was the target zone for the very beginning of the system. If anything, we probably could have taken that 4 to 6 a little bit more into Louisville, obviously. But who cares, right? Hindsight, not much you can do about it. You guys got a nice, pretty snow out of it. I hope you're happy and are enjoying it. And you got a snow day, then congratulations. I wish I could get a snow day. Schools are out. Look how pretty this shot is. Don't you love wet snows too? Because they stick to everything. Trees, every little branch. And when they're decorated for Christmas, December snows are awesome. We don't get this often. Usually we get our snow in January and all the Christmas decor is taken down, unless you're that one house in the neighborhood that keeps it up year round. But still, very pretty snow. I did stick to everything. You can see even the side roads there are in good shape. All right, so temperature outside at 29 here in Louisville, 30 in Jeffersonville, 27 North Vernon, 30 in E-Town. We are cloudy. I don't see it improving much today. We may get to 32, but typically when you get a snowpack, especially more than 2 inches, it's on the ground, your thermometer will struggle. Our southern counties, you are lacking that, of course. I'm not trying to rub it in, but you have a better chance to get above freezing today and likely will in the mid-30s. Everywhere else, if you got at least 2 inches on the ground, you will have a sub-freezing or right at freezing day. All right, so kind of keep that in mind for the slick spots, as I mentioned. And then tonight, still mainly cloudy. There could be some clearing, but if we were to clear, the problem with that is we would get some fog that would develop, and that could only add to some icy patches. So we're going to reevaluate the temperature setup this afternoon once we get a better handle on how much the snow maintains today, which majority of it will. And we'll let you know if there's any adjustments to the slick spot ideas for tonight. But I think with roads being treated, road crews have done a really good job with that pre-treatment and constant salt treatment should work really well without any additional snow falling. All right, just be careful on ramps, exiting and entering interstates and freeways. That's where they can't always control that because it will seep down the ramp from any type of melting, and it could be melting not necessarily from the temperature being above freezing, just from the constant tailpipes and exhaust systems going by of cars and semis that go by the roads. They melt it out. And still be careful too, sitting at a red light. A lot of times you're sitting at a red light, you're sitting there with the tailpipe running, that's heat coming out of your car. It can melt some of that slush even more. And then say you get into an area where there's no cars that sit at that red light again for another few minutes or so, then that area that melted can quickly become ice for the next set of cars that come up to the red light. So always be careful too, coming to a stop in those areas and intersections. Seen that happen many, many times. All right, so here's a look at the satellite. Can't really tell a whole lot just because it's, overcast over us. And the overcast is fairly extensive over the entire snowpack areas, which is a natural thing that happens. Unless you get really, really dry air, snow will just induce clouds, stratus deck over it. The snow itself was way out of here off to the east, heading up the eastern seaboard. Now it's New York City. Oh, they got to be excited. I've always wanted to be in New York City at Christmas time when it's snowing. I think that'd be awesome. But they're getting that, and Rockefeller, I'm sure, is going to look really nice with the tree there in front of NBC. Should be pretty. All right, so what's next? Well, we got another front moving in. This is going to be an Arctic boundary that will be sliding to the south. We got a little bit of time before it gets here, so we'll have a chance to catch our breath today. Enjoy the snow outside. Hopefully you do. We get into tonight. Watch out for refreezing. Then we get into tomorrow night, into Thursday morning. That's when the Arctic boundary moves in. And this is where light snow will start to develop along the boundary. This is mainly for now. High res can't fully see this event yet, but it's been hinting at it for a while, even on the other models. But in general, this looks to be an Indiana event first. I don't know if this is going to be able to make it over the river to the south and slice into Kentucky. It may hover across Indiana and jet more east into West Virginia. But this is not what you want to see when you're looking at temperatures in the 20s. Likely still have snow on the ground. And then you have a quarter to maybe a half inch of snow that could fall from a snow band at near rush hour or just before on Thursday morning. That doesn't go well usually for the area. That can cause some problems. So this, even though it's a very light snow chance and only for part of the area, it does need to be monitored. And I can't rule out an alert day set up for that for impacts for Thursday morning. So we'll be watching it carefully. And it's not the only part of that. Here's the last run of that. It stops here at 7 a.m. Thursday morning. You can see it's moving in very close to the Louisville Metro. And again, this looks to be under an inch, but it doesn't take much. Not at this point. If it's were yesterday, before the system we have now is outside, if it were yesterday and we had something like this coming, I wouldn't be as worried. Now that we've gotten cold, we got a snowpack down. Now you get that involved, you run into more of an impact of causing sick conditions. So we'll monitor it. And there's also another little spin to this. As that Arctic boundary moves in, we've got to see how much. You see the return flow into Houston and Galveston Bay there. See the showers and thunderstorms that are showing up. We got to see whether or not there will be a wave that will try to feed moisture. It's going to move fast, but it will try to inject right into the front as we get into Friday morning. So this is displaced 24 hours in advance from this feature in Texas. So this is your Thursday morning wave, and here's Friday morning. And both could have impacts. Both look light. Thursday morning wave, there it is, a little band of snow. And then here we go with Friday morning. And this will, anytime you got more of a southern feature, you got to watch for higher QPF or moisture values. That is possible. We could get higher moisture values involved in that for Friday morning. So this one needs a little more time in the oven because some of the data I've been trending on and watching it doesn't really bring that much moisture that far north. The Euro's kind of been the one that's been steadfast on that idea. So we'll see if that trend continues today or not. But that too could be another alert day issue for Friday morning. Now we're getting, it's a very busy storm track. So we're getting all these little systems, this rapid fire coming our way. So it's like we can't take a nap. We got to constantly look the other way and get ready for the next little one to roll on by. And speaking of that, as it rolls out, here comes the clipper for the weekend. Very compact little guy that moves down. Could have rain on the southern side, otherwise likely some snow with it. Anytime the models show rain when you're already in a cold, snowy pattern, you got to kind of be suspect that it's going to be rain. Majority of that will likely be snow. It looks light, but moving in at an interesting time again. Sunday night into Monday morning's commute. Could school be out for the rest of the year? No, I'm just kidding. I'm not trying to put that into the universe. But teachers out there, I'm sure, are thinking it. Certainly the kids are. So there we go. Clipper number one. And remember, there's two of them. So here's the second one that moves in for Tuesday. This one may actually have a little bit of a mix involved in it. I'm not going to rule that out. This is a little bit stronger, so it may have a little bit more of a south wind in advance of it. So we'll monitor that, but it will likely have some wintry component as it moves by. And then yet another one on Thursday. So it's like 1, 2, and 3. Just kind of move on by. Some of this may, as we get closer, in reality only be 1 or 2 instead of 3. The model sometimes can see different systems and realize it's just one that comes down, but it doesn't know how to understand it. So that's the reason why we always say, or at least I do, it needs more time in the oven because I think it needs to settle on individual pieces of energy. The roll on by. And then we'll keep that train going. This is where the model stops, but I can tell you that that's not where the fun stops. It will keep building. There are signs of a mid-month significant system that will develop here across the nation's heartland. Now, it's doing what the one did for Thanksgiving, where it's wanting to build it back here in the plains, which would lead to a very much a warm surge of air and thunderstorms in our area. And then it kept shifting south and east every time we got closer to it. I think that's exactly what's going to happen with this one. So if you're looking at the long range modeling, you're probably going to see a thunderstorm set up. Highly be suspicious of that right now because I think it will trend colder and more east as we get closer, but it's not worth talking about right now. But that would be a mid-month concern that we'll be watching. But that will likely be the next bigger or stronger signal of a system that will roll through the Ohio Valley will be at that time. All right. What do I have next? I forgot what I had. Oh, yeah, the matrix. This is going to change once we get rid of this system for that is already here. Although it's interesting to look at it. I mean, this is what it had for last night in the evening for what the snow would be in Louisville. And you look at the bottom left, it said 4 inches. I mean, hey, not bad, Matrix, not bad. But you can tell it's very noisy, right? I mean, you see the little hints of the little southern wave. Then there are the clippers are all kind of, it's like chaos. It's like looking at Matrix here with playing Tetris or something. So it's a mess. It's a mess. There's a lot of timing issues and moisture issues there, but no doubt it's a wintry pattern. To see a noisy signal is what you want to see. And notice the absence of it here because, again, it's thinking it's going to be a warm switch, which I'm still doubting on that. Looking at the long-term matrix, one of the most aggressive signals I've seen in a while for the second half of December, including Christmas into January. Boy, really, it begins to light up. We may be locked in this for a while. In fact, looking at the MJO, yeah, it stays generally at phase 8 through the rest of December, indicating a still cold and snowy pattern. And the polar vortex, while it's doing a stretched event now, there are signs it will continue to stretch out across the eastern side of Canada and dive into the United States, likely all the way into early January. So I think we got a long way to go before we see any signal of warm weather that will be coming our way. Well, let me show you the 10-day get the future questions, and then obviously I got to get ready for the show because there's a lot to cover today on the TV side too. So 32, we'll be optimistic today. Tomorrow, we may spend a couple of hours or so above freezing. If we get some sun with a wet snow, anytime you get sun, that takes care of it rapidly. So there is a chance we will see a decent improvement on the roads, certainly for Wednesday. But then again, we may freshen it up without light coating Thursday. We'll watch Friday as well. And then we get into the weekend. It's really about the second half of the weekend. Saturday doesn't look bad. I think Saturday does have a chance to get close to 40 with a partly sunny sky, and that will do quite a bit of melting. And then we'll just see how next week plays out with Clipper Mageddon that comes our way. A lot, right? Angela, any chance these systems move through giving us a daytime snow? Most of these seem to be nocturnal, early morning. That's just a general idea and timing. As far as any of them that are like, 3 in the afternoon, I don't know yet. That's a good question, but we're not going to be able to see that, unfortunately, this far in advance. Cameron's Christmas, yeah. Adam, watch it be 70 on Christmas again. These things can flip around, but right now the signal to keep this idea of cold coming is still there. Now, typically when you get to that level of cold and snow for that long of a period, I mean, that would be about a month here we're talking about in this pattern. That does, in the past, tend to reflect a flip to a warmer setup for the other half of winter. So we'll see if that balances out or not. Everything always likes to bounce out, I think. Let's see. Amanda, any of them gonna melt away? Any of I can't read. Sorry, it's hard to read the screen. Any of them melt away enough to take care of the rest of the yard? Yes. The Saturday window especially will do a lot of melting. Tomorrow will be some melting, modest amounts, but the lighter snow for Thursday and Friday will be just coatings, like freshening up the coatings, we like to say, kind of just making it sparkle again. That's about it. Fresh coat. But it will likely not be a heavy snow at all. It'd be very, very light. But those are the ones that can be tricky on travel for sure. Terry, dogs like one look out the door and said, nope. Dobie is out. I think he was out earlier this morning, so I'm not sure if he's still. He's okay with it. He kind of acts weird. My dog Nemo, when I had Nemo, loved it. He always thought that snow was a treat for him. So he thought all the snow in the yard was a gift to him. So he was excited, and he was trying to eat as much as he possibly could before he had to go back inside because this is a treat. It's just for him. He could not understand that it was that everybody got it, but I didn't tell him. But he would get the zoomies and go crazy. It was fun to watch. Dobie is a little more of an indoor dog, so he is not as thrilled about that kind of stuff. Okay, I think you guys are right. I know you want to know more about snowfall amounts and stuff and long term, but I'm all going to ask for you guys is just to, again, be patient with this kind of a set. Be patient with us. You guys have been awesome so far. I know there's a lot of talk and chatter. There's a lot out there on social media now with winter systems and snow and cold. I get it. It's a lot. It's a lot for us to look at. But the important thing is to take each one of these slow, one step at a time. Every one of them has a cause and effect to the next one. So a weather model can hint at something down the road, but if you get something that happens in between now in that system, the end result can get altered. And I think we've already seen that happen in the past couple of weeks, and I think we will continue to see that. So we're giving you a general idea of how the storyline is looking, but there will absolutely be changes. And every day when we're on here on the blog, it's going to keep fine tuning. And I think an immediate concern, it's going to be just these little smaller snow chances for Thursday and Friday. That's our main focus. We'll worry about the clippers later in time. Fair enough? All right, guys, keep sending in your photos. I hope you guys, again, get a chance to enjoy the snow. And I'll be out in the weather garden coming up on midday at 11 a.m. All right, so come out and say hello. If I'm out there sledding at Cherokee Park, I'm debating it. I really am. Big thanks to Nature's Landscape Company. Nature Supply, they've been doing awesome. They're open, by the way, during all these winter events, helping us out and helping you guys out. If you need salt, shovels, whatever the case may be, you got a feeling they're going to be busy the rest of the season.